Today, we're diving deep into the heart of Nutty Putty Cave, a place that once captivated the spirit of exploration, but became the backdrop for a horrific incident. Join us as we unravel the story of John Jones and the caving tragedy that forever changed the landscape of underground exploration. Just outside of Salt Lake, Utah, there lies a vast labyrinth of underground tunnels and ancient formations, but Nutty Putty Cave was only documented for the first time in 1960 by a caver named Dale Green, who, upon exploring the cave, observed a large amount of clay-like substance on the cave walls, leading to the cave's name. The cave soon began drawing thousands of thrill-seekers and adventurers each year. However, it quickly proved treacherous. Numerous people would get stuck in very tight squeezes and would require expert assistance in getting them out. The cave's formation is a testament to the geological processes that shaped the region over millions of years. Limestone, susceptible to dissolution by acidic groundwater, gradually eroded to create the intricate passages, chambers, and formations that characterize Nutty Putty Cave. Stalactites, stalagmites, and flowstone adorned the cave's interior, captivating those who ventured in and would be successful at traversing without experiencing a near-death situation, to say the least. What set Nutty Putty Cave apart from others was not only its geological beauty, but also those challenging and narrow passages. The birth canal, a particularly tight section, posed a thrilling obstacle for cavers. Explorers braved the squeeze, adding an element of excitement to the subterranean journey. Our story begins with John Jones, an experienced caver known for his passion for exploration. On November 24, 2009, 26-year-old John Jones visited Nutty Putty Cave with friends and family members as part of a pre-Thanksgiving adventure. John had left his pregnant wife at home with their 1-year-old daughter Lizzie and set off with his brother Josh and a group of 11 in total. They entered the cave in high spirits around 8 p.m., looking forward to exploring its famous tunnels. As they descended into the cool darkness of Nutty Putty Cave, which up until this time, neither of them visited this cave before, everyone was excited. It was going well for about an hour or so. The group explored the first and largest room in the cave called the Big Slide. His brother and 2 other friends then decided to make it interesting and challenge themselves and explore further into the cave, taking on one of the most difficult sections of the whole caving system, known as the birth canal. This proved to be the first mistake. You see, the birth canal is a very tight squeeze through that only few slender-bodied people are able to get through. Plenty of people have gotten stuck in the past and would need rescue, but John was young and fit, and this wasn't a concern for him. He then wriggled on first with his brother behind him down the passageway to what he thought to be the birth canal, but had mistakenly taken a wrong turn down a passageway known as the corkscrew. This area was very tight and full of rocks, which would have the caver twisting their bodies and bending their legs in certain positions in order to get through. It wasn't as simple as wriggling through on our belly. As he descended, the passage got narrower and narrower. John then saw what appeared to be an opening ahead, which in his eyes was a glimmer of hope. John proceeded through the passage, where it was only 12 inches high, into this very tight section, and even had to take a deep breath to suction his chest in just to get over a hump of rock. This proved to be the second fatal mistake, as when his chest expanded again, John would slide into an unmapped section of the cave that was pointed almost completely downwards. John was basically pushing himself up with his hands at this point. He shouted to his brother behind him, warning him not to follow him as he now realizes his dire mistake. He looked around and noticed a small opening in the ground and misjudged it for another passageway or tunnel into another room, and even though what exactly happened next isn't clear, it's theorized that John either slipped or crawled into this opening, which was impossibly narrow, only 18 by 10 inches, which, to put into perspective, isn't a lot bigger than your laptop screen. This was the last fatal mistake, as John was now stuck 70 degrees upside down, with one hand pinned to his side and the other between his chest and a rock. He tried to wriggle himself up, but was unable to move. He called his brother for help, as he now sees that he'll need to be rescued. His brother would make his way to him, and at first thought nothing too serious of the situation, but upon further analysis, dread started to set in, as John was stuck in the worst possible location and position imaginable. You see, the human body isn't meant to be upside down, and so being in this position for too long meant that blood will start pooling in the brain and lungs, and your heart goes into overdrive trying to make up for all this, which will eventually lead to cardiac arrest. Meanwhile, your lower organ start pushing down on your lungs. John's brother would try to grip John's legs, which are sticking up out of the hole, to pull him out, but this was no use. As time went on, gravity would pull John deeper into the hole, making matters worse, as he could only manage shallow breath as it got tighter. This was an extremely anxiety-inducing moment. However, both parties had to stay calm if they had any chances of making out his cave alive. After failing to pull his brother up, Josh then proceeded to leave the cave to get professional rescue. John would remain like this, 400 feet into the cave and 100 feet under the Earth's surface, until first sign of help came 3 hours later. Susie Matola arrived at the cave site around midnight. Crawling on her belly, she would inch her way through the small limestone tunnel with a rope tethered to her, on her way to John in the 70-degree heat and stifling humidity. Upon finding John, she realized how dire the situation was. She would try to talk to him in order to keep him calm. "Hi John, my name is Susie. How's it going?" "Hi Susie, thanks for coming, but I really want to get out." "Oh, no worries John," she told him. "You're going to be out of here lickety-split." Susie tied a rope to his legs and would feed it back through the tunnel for the group to tug on it, trying to free him. However, there was too much friction and John couldn't help himself, as his hands were in a useless position. So, this would prove futile. After 2 hours of trying and brainstorming, Susie was forced to retreat and go back to the surface, where by this time, John's wife and around 30 rescuers gathered. They ultimately decided on using a pulley system to try and free John, as this technique had been successfully used previously. However, there would be another problem. Drilling away at the cave walls proved extremely hard, and only few select people could get to where John was in the cave because of the extreme geography. Each trip to John, bringing a piece of gear needed, would take over an hour, and time was not on John's side. After finally setting up the first pulley system, they would run into another problem. That rock that John had inhaled and compressed his diaphragm in order to get past was now blocking him from going any further. They were able to administer him some IV, however, trying their very best to save him, but shortly afterwards, the pulley would fail, and John would then fall back deeper in the hole, getting wedged even more. A bolt used to secure the pulley system to the cave walls had came loose. This had caused part of the cave wall to collapse, and to make a bad situation worse, the lead rescuer was struck in the face and would momentarily black out. This was catastrophic, as John was now not responsive. This situation just got from bad to worse. The lead rescuer now needs immediate medical attention, and another lead rescuer took his place. This person then managed to slip a rope around John's waist, but would then become stuck for over 30 minutes themselves and would need help to get free, sustaining multiple injuries in the process. It wasn't looking good. John was barely breathing and was still unconscious, which made rescuing him impossible, as he was unable to help himself at all. A third rescuer would, in a last desperate attempt, would try to drill away the rock around John, but it was now useless. The team was exhausted, and shortly after, John went into cardiac arrest and tragically passed away. There was nothing anyone could do. A paramedic was then sent down to take a pulse, and they would confirm the worst. John was officially pronounced dead after being trapped underground upside down for over 27 hours. Sadly, John's body was now confined to this rocky prison, as it was impossible to move a lifeless corpse through the cave. It would require various twisting and bending, and with that, the decision was made to seal the cave shut, and concrete was poured down the entrance, never to be explored again. John's family had a plaque made in his memory, installed on the cave's entrance. To this day and forever on, John's body remains in the Ed's Push section of the cave, serving as a chilling reminder of the many horrors of cave exploration. Thank you so much for sticking through to the end. If you enjoyed today's story, please consider liking and subscribing. Share your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out.